All right, welcome back to Mile High Hoops. Today we're doing the Portland Trailblazers, a team in the Western Conference where I don't think anyone is sure what is going to happen with them. They had a lot of roster shakeup this last season as well as this offseason. I think that this is probably one of the better off seasons they've had in this like Damian Lillard era. So let's get right to it. So they made three key additions this offseason. We'll start with Gary Payton II. And I've got to be clear here. I am a Warriors fan, so I'm a little biased on Gary Payton II. I absolutely love everything about his game. Uh, I It hurts me in my soul to lose him, but at least he's going to a team that I also enjoy to watch. But Gary Payton II, he's basically a 6'3" center. He's got like a 6'8" wingspan, so I expect him to be fitting in almost every lineup that the Trailblazers run. He's going to be there setting screens, making back cuts, going for lobs, spotting up in the corner, which he was hitting that three pretty consistently, actually. But the guy just dunks anything and everything, and it's just so exciting to watch. It helps boost like the morale of the whole team when he just yams it all over someone's face. He's a threat running in transition because of that dunking ability. The thing that kind of freaks you out a little bit though is that talent leads you to injury situations like what happened in the playoffs this last season, where Dylan Brooks swiped at the ball and kind of high load him, and he ended up landing awkwardly on his butt and then having his arm out and I'm not sure if it was breaking his elbow, but he hurt his elbow pretty good. But I think he is a great addition for this team, especially the Trailblazers, where they didn't really have any defenders and now they can hide Damian Lillard on someone else while GP2 guards the main guard and just absolutely clamps them up. So Jerami Grant was the next big addition, and for the Detroit Pistons, he averaged 22 points, 43% from the field, 35 from three-point range, 85 from the free throw. Didn't get a lot of rebounds, only got like 4.5, 3 assists, half a steal, and a block. But the thing that I like about this so much is that Jerami Grant is such a good switchable defender. He's definitely not going to be scoring like this on the Trailblazers. They have too many like offensive threat guards. They're going to be lighting it up. But I do think he fits a great role here, guarding multiple positions, cutting to the rim, spotting up for threes, running pick and rolls, well, as the roll man or pop man. And I think he'll just be a great addition to this team, kind of raise their ceiling, help them from just getting blown out because they can't guard anybody. But I think he is very important to them this next season. It is important to say that they do only have him on contract for 1 year, just this next season coming up. So hopefully they'll be able to extend him. The thing is with Jerami Grant too is that he's always just wanted to be the guy. So I think it's kind of bleak, the idea of him re-signing. But maybe if he likes working with all those guys, he'll be inclined to stay and re-sign with them. The last one is Shadon Sharp. There's not much footage out there of him because he skipped his college season because he wanted to just go straight to the draft and preserve his body. The little bit of footage that I did see on him really leads you to believe that like he's going to be cutting to the rim a lot, catching lobs, like finishing a lot with dunks. His shooting motion has been a little funky. Like it looks like it could be tweaked and fixed pretty well, pretty easily. But for sure, like the high school footage, he was shooting a single motion and it was looking pretty good. But then when he got to the NBA range in some of those summer league games, he had a bit of a two motion going on in his shot, which was leaving it short. And you'd rather them miss like short or long than left and right. So I think he'll be pretty good for them. I don't know too much about his defensive game. I mean, he's a bigger guard. He's 6'6", so hopefully there's some potential there, especially if he gets working with Jerami Grant and Gary Payton II. You know, those two will be busting him up in practice. So hopefully he sees that and works on that pretty well. I'm not too sure how many minutes he'll get being a guard on a team with Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, GP2, Josh Hart. But I would hope as as a front office guy or something, they would want to get him on the court as much as they can without ruining their season if he is being a little bit of a negative. But I think he'll be a good addition. And I mean, worst case scenario, if they are really good and Shaden's not really playing at all, that just trade him and get another stud so then they can maybe push for the playoffs and lose in the conference finals or the semifinals or something. And I think the biggest plus sign for this team right now is the success that Anthony Simons had that last season. In the month of January, he was averaging 23 points for them on almost 50, 40, 90 shooting splits with almost 7 assists a game. So, I mean, if he can get that kind of production and be shooting the ball that well, I mean, losing CJ McCollum is no big deal at this point because they have a younger guy that's shooting just as well, if not better. And he's young, so hopefully, I mean, they can help him grow as a defender as well. He is also a small guard. He's 6'3", so a backcourt of him and Damian Lillard still defensively is not going to be great this season. I would expect them to pair Dame with Gary Payton in the backcourt, and they could get real ballsy with it and make it Dame, Anthony, and Gary Payton, and then also run Jerami Grant and Yusuf Nurkic as their five-man starting lineup. Offensively, it'd be good. Defensively, not so great. But I think Anthony Simons is just this like complete light in the dark for them. Um, I see a lot of comparisons with him and Jordan Poole. I think they're kind of two guys from the same mold of growing up watching Stephen Curry just really pop off, and so they're both just these crazy shooters that like to get to the rim and finish with both hands. I think Jordan Poole's a little bit more creative, but I think Anthony Simons has definitely had a little bit more success in finishing and shooting as so far. Now, the biggest question mark for me is definitely Damian Lillard. Um, this would be not the usual for them because Dame has always been that sturdy rock for them. But last season, he had that abdominal strain, I'm pretty sure, that kept him out like the entire year almost. And so, like, we're at the time where we're thinking, did they make a mistake not trading him sooner? Now they've got him up through 2026, 2027, making another $195 million. So at that point, he'll be 37, and if he's already like on a decline right now, could be the worst contract in the league. I like Damian Lillard, and I think that he is still a great player. Uh, just hopefully that last season was an anomaly, and he can get back to his true self. Because if he can, this team will be really good. Um, Still not contenders by any means, but I think that this group of guys is really good, or are really good. And I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it with CJ. We've seen it when CJ was young. Um, we've seen them do battles with the Warriors and lose a bunch, but those teams were just crazy. So I think that they've got a pretty good chance to be like a 48 win, maybe 45. I don't think they'll be as bad as play-in this year, but like that 6, 7, 8 seed is probably where they'll land. The issue I do see if they do make it to the playoffs and everyone's healthy is that they've really got no depth. Like they've got Josh Hart, who I assume will come off the bench. Nasir Little, which is like a bigger wing that can come off the bench. I'd hope they wouldn't play Justice Winslow. He's just a complete failure in this league. Everyone thought he was going to be Kawhi Leonard. He's definitely not. Um, and then they got this Oliver Sarr from the OKC Thunder, and he's their only other center on this roster. He did, funnily enough, almost average 50, 40, 90 in 20 minutes played in about 19 games. So he could be potentially kind of interesting. I think we'll just have to really see how some of these like extra bench role player guys do for them, and especially their season is entirely relying on how Damian Lillard does. If Damian isn't Damian, then this team is going to be pretty bad because they've really just got Anthony Simons and maybe Jerami Grant to do most of the scoring if Dame isn't there. So, like I said, I think it's going to be about sixth, seventh, or eighth seed for them, and probably a first or second round to exit. But certainly better than before. And I think this might be one of the better Trailblazers teams we've seen the last few seasons. So I think they're on the up and up as long as Damian Lillard can stay healthy, and then if they can maybe re-sign Jerami Grant somehow. But thanks for listening. This has been Mile High Hoops. We'll definitely do another one of these tomorrow. Really enjoying it. So like, subscribe. Let me know what you like and dislike in the comments. What else you would like to see in these, and just have a good one. Bye.